Kailangan nang itigil ang panggulo nito sa ating lipunan at paglalakastangan sa ating bansa. I hereby instruct PAGCOR to wind down and cease the operation of POGOs by the end of the year.
Ito ang Istorya Pinas.
Sa wakas, marami ang nasiyahan ng inanunsyo sa SONA ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na sa simula sa araw na ito, itotal ban na ang POGO operation sa ating bansa matapos na napakaraming naging sangkot at mga naging anomalya sa mga ahensya ng gobyerno lalo na sa PSA at Bureau of Immigration at pagkasangkot ng isang mayor na di umano Chinese national na naging mayor pa sa ating bansa na si suspended mayor Alice Guo na kahit hanggang ngayon patuloy pa ring hinahanap para hulihin at para makadalo na siya sa hearing sa Senado kaya sa Kongreso para masagutan niya ang mga napakaraming tanong na naghihintay sa kanya ng mga kasagutan. Napakarami na ang naging biktima at nagdusa sa mga illegal na operasyon ng POGO sa Pilipinas. Naging isang magandang regalo ito sa taong bayan na dininig niya ang hinaing ng sambayanang Pilipino na itotal ban na ang mga POGO sa ating bansa at binigyan ng limit ang PAGCOR na dapat mawala na ang POGO bago matapos ang taong ito at bigyan ng dole ang mga 10,000 trabahador di umano ng mga POGO na Pilipino ng mga panibagong trabaho kaya panoorin natin ang video.
At ngayon po, naririnig po namin ang malakas na sigaw ng taong bayan laban sa mga POGO. Disguising as legitimate entities, their operations have ventured into illicit areas furthest from gaming, such as financial scamming, money laundering, prostitution, human trafficking, kidnapping, brutal torture, even murder. The grave abuse and disrespect to our system of laws must stop. Kailangan nang itigil ang panggulo nito sa ating lipunan at paglalakastangan sa ating bansa. Effective today, all POGOs are banned. I hereby instruct PAGCOR to wind down and cease the operation of POGOs by the end of the year. The DOLE, in coordination with our economic managers, shall use the time between now and then to find new jobs for our countrymen who will be displaced. This will solve many of the problems that we are encountering. It will solve many of the problems that we have been encountering, but it will not solve all of them. To solve all the problems that we have been suffering under, all officials, law enforcers, workers in government, and most of all, the citizenry, must always be vigilant, principled, and think of the health of the nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me end by recalling the words of a great man. Let not anyone pacify his conscience by the delusion that he can do no harm if he takes no part and forms no opinion. Bad men need nothing more to compass their ends than that good men should look on and do nothing. He is not a good man. He is not a good man who, without a protest, allows wrong to be committed in his name. In the defense of the Republic, while others are now part of the PNP BARM, government will honor and fully comply with its remaining deliverables and commitments under these agreements. In November last year, we signed proclamations granting amnesty to former rebels. A month later, and then in June of this year, the House of Representatives and the Senate issued their respective resolutions concurring with these amnesty proclamations. That Congress is one with us is a testament to the whole nation's sincere desire for peace. In such a short period, the BARM has impressively established a strong foundation for its progressive, autonomous social development. Investments continue to pour into the BARM. Last year, investments in the region increased by 140% year on year. The improved peace and order situation, good governance, not to mention high hopes and confidence amongst its people, all contribute to the reasons why BARM's poverty index has significantly decreased since 2018. In Marawi, the rehabilitation and rebuilding continue under the supervision now of the Office of the President. Our focus remains on restoring energy, water, and livable communities. As of today, all 7 intergovernmental mechanisms of the BARM, as mandated under the organic law, have been organized and activated. These will guarantee effective and constant consultation between the Bangsamoro and national governments in the fundamental aspects of governance. 5 out of the 7 essential laws for the BARM have already been enacted by the BTA Parliament. Now it has its own administrative code. It has its own local government code, its own election code, and those for education and the civil service as well. So with these inspiring developments, the BARM appears primed and ready for its regular elections, the first ones that they will have in the coming year. On the fight against dangerous drugs, our bloodless war on dangerous drugs adheres and will continue to adhere to the established 8 E's of an effective anti-illegal drug strategy. Extermination was never one of them. And yet, in more than 71,500 operations, it has resulted in the seizure of more than 44 billion pesos worth of illegal drugs and the arrest of more than 97,000 drug personalities. More than 6,000 of those arrested were high-value targets. 440 of them were government employees, of whom 42 were uniformed personnel. 77 were elected officials. So to further paralyze their operations, dirty money and assets worth more than 500 million pesos have been frozen and preserved. With strong case buildup and efficient prosecution, the drug conviction rate is at a high of 79%. Together with this, we welcome the report that the number of drug-affected barangays in our country has been reduced by 32%. In our international relations, we have faced challenges to our territorial sovereignty, and we will assert our rights and interests in the same fair and pacific way that we have always done. Proper diplomatic channels and mechanisms under the rules-based international order remain the only acceptable means of settling disputes. Peace and community building will always be our clarion call, especially when the country serves as chair and the host of ASEAN Summit in 2026. We continuously try to find ways to de-escalate tensions in contested areas with our counterparts, without compromising our position and our principles. I know that our neighbors too are doing their best to make this work. The Philippines cannot yield. The Philippines cannot waver. We are now more conscious as a people and strategic in heightening our aerial and maritime domain awareness. We are continuing to strengthen our defensive posture, both through developing self-reliance and through partnerships with like-minded states. Ang West Philippine Sea ay hindi katang-isip natin lamang. Ito ay atin. Ito ay At ito ay mananatiling atin hanggat nag-aalab ang diwa ng ating minamahal na bansang Pilipinas. Pagtitibayin at palalaguin natin ang kamalayan at kaalaman ng buong bansa at titiyakin na maipapasa natin ito sa kabataan at ating susunod na mga salinlahi. Laws on our maritime zones and archipelagic sea lanes make sure that this intergenerational mandate, this duty, will firmly take root in the hearts and minds of all our people. Sa buong sandatang lakas, sa Coast Guard, sa ating mga mangingisda sa West Philippine Sea. Tagapin po ninyo ang taus-pusong pasasalamat ng buong bansa dahil sa inyong ginagawang pagmamatyag at sakripisyo. Let us now turn to our economic status and our prospects. In spite of headwinds that we have faced, we have stayed the course. The country exhibits healthy signs of post-pandemic resilience comparable to strong economies in our region. Our poverty rate has significantly dropped to 15.5%, down from 18% in 2021. This present figure is even lower than the pre-pandemic level of 16.7% in 2018. Ang katumbas nito ay halos 2.5 milyong Pilipino ang naiangat natin mula sa kahirapan. Kasabay nito, nabawasan ng lagpas 1,700,000 ang bilang ng mga Pilipinong walang sapat na pambili ng pagkain. Patuloy natin pagsisikapan na marami pa tayong maiaahon mula sa kahirapan. To sustain the country's economic gains, we are promoting investment-led growth. We have set in motion policies and programs to create an environment conducive for business to thrive, like reforms in the capital markets and implementation of green lanes. As a result, we have green lanes certified, around 100 projects with a total investment of about 3 trillion pesos across the sectors of renewable energy, digital infrastructure, food security, and manufacturing. The Philippine financial system remains robust and resilient. Tax and non-tax revenue collection has also become more efficient in pace with our rejuvenated economy. Notably, for the past 2 years, our GOCCs have remitted dividends to the national government with a combined tally exceeding their contributions in 2022. To build on these, and guided by strong fiscal discipline, our proposed government budget for this year was crafted with utmost care, diligence, and meticulous attention. We look to the cooperation of our colleagues in the legislature, not only that our proposed national budget be approved in your usual timely manner, but it be adhered to as closely as possible. We expect all agencies to ensure that every centavo allocated will be judiciously spent for our urgent priorities and socially impactful programs. Mga kababayan, sa lahat ng ginagawa natin ito at mga gagawin pa, mataas ang aking kumpiyansa na malalampasan din natin ang hamon ng ating pinagdadaanan. Dahil ito ang pangunahing hinaing ng taong bayan. Hindi tayo titigil sa paglalaban sa kahirapan at sa paghahanap ng lunas upang maibalik sa normal ang presyo ng bilihin, lalo na ang bigas.